Welcome to the Music Examination. The hosts of the show are Zag, Ness, and Curtis, who will be discussing, debating, and dissecting classic rock and roll. Let the show begin.
And we're back. How's everybody going?
Not too bad.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Yeah. Hey, and everybody out there that's going to be listening today, we got an excellent show for you today, something real exciting. Like you probably like it today. And before we do that, does anybody have anything new in their life or anything?
Anything new in their life?
Anything new in my life? Have you read anything? Have you done anything?
What's new in my life?
Yes.
I saw the other day, I saw Stevie Nicks on YouTube's show from Atlantic City. Last Saturday's show, actually, is really recent.
Okay.
So it was a mixed bag. I mean, it wasn't like, you know how Stevie Nicks used to kind of gracefully kind of glide on stage and twirl around with her her lace and stuff blowing in the wind, kind of give you the mystique and aura.
Yeah.
Now she just kind of walks around. She looks tired more than anything else.
Ooh, tired.
Well,
Yeah, she just it doesn't look as cool and kind of witchy and mysterious as she used to be. She just kind of looks a little tired.
Huh.
The sound was pretty. The sound was again mixed bag. Some songs sounded really good. Some songs kind of like, it could have been better, but for her age, it was okay. I mean, I don't know if I would spend what she's asking for LCA tickets to go see her based on that. But I guess now with tickets being the price they are, I think I'm going to do stuff like that because I saw also on YouTube the George Lynch show that was at that place in Chesterfield a couple Saturdays ago.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube.
Oh, really?
That show's on YouTube?
I don't know if it was a show or just a song Dream Warriors, but I know the whole Stevie Nicks show was actually from Atlantic City.
Okay.
And you could tell it was a hack job because the guy's camera phone kept bouncing around. That kind of distracted me a little bit. I'm going, dude, get yourself a tripod or something. Or just don't, if you're going to bootleg something,
right.
know what you're doing.
Yeah, get one of them stick things that you can hold up.
Yeah, piss off the guy behind you.
Yeah. Was Waddy in the band?
Yeah, Waddy was in the band and nobody else. Lori Perry was still one of the lead singers.
Okay.
I don't know if that Sharon Solani was the other one. I don't think, because Lori Perry was that brunette, so you could tell what she looks like. And the other one, I don't remember what she looks like.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only one I remember.
Okay.
No Bob Glob. No Russell Kunkel.
Oh, wow.
No Bettman Trench.
Well, actually, I know Russell Kunkel is actually him and Waddy are doing that thing with Danny Kirchmeier. Called The Ultimate Family or something like that. I guess it was a movie or a documentary.
The Immediate Family.
The Immediate, that's right. That's right.
Leyland Sklar is the bass player. The guy with the big beard from Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Toto.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leyland Sklar, yeah.
They had one good. That was one song I heard from was pretty good, actually.
I want to check into that. I got to check into that.
Okay. That was it for me.
Okay. That's nice.
Oh.
Good. Glad for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Mike.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I finally saw the Dio doc.
Okay.
Dreamers. What is it called again? Dreamers Never Die.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. It was really good.
Okay.
Really has a lot. He's had a long career, so it goes all the way back to when he was in his doo-wop days. Shows footage from that. They had some old footage, which was really cool. The only aggravating part was Sebastian Bach's in it. And everything's
he's in everything.
Everything's a joke, man.
Yeah, he's in everything.
Because he's
in everything.
He pretty much is.
Yeah.
And
he's everybody's favorite fan.
Number one is the voice is annoying, and then he's just like he'll say something that's kind of serious, and then he ends it with a joke. And it takes the whole moment away. But it was good though. I mean, it was well done, and the music and it was good, and showed just up until he died. I mean, Wendy's in it, and it was really good. So yeah, one of the better ones lately that I've seen.
Right.
Yeah, Sebastian Bach. He's the biggest Rush fan one day, and then he's the biggest Kiss fan the next day. And
yeah. Now was Eddie's involved in that too?
Eddie Trunk's in it a little bit. He actually opens it.
Okay.
He actually starts crying a little bit in the thing, which come on.
Well, he still talks to. I guess he talks to Wendy a lot. I guess because they do that whole bowling thing.
Yeah, he knows everybody. But yeah, he was in. He was good. I mean, he talked a little bit. I think he was in a couple scenes, where they interviewed him.
Okay.
But a lot of it's Wendy. his cousin who was in Elf with him.
Okay.
Who's I forgot who he plays with now. He still plays with
Not
somebody.
Craig Gruber or Graber.
Who?
Craig.
No. But they're the bulk of it. And then there's another guy that they show in a scene when he's kind of a young guy, and then now they show him today.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I can't remember what his name is, but Ronnie kind of took him under his wing, and he's in it quite a bit too. But it even had footage at his house in the hospital.
Yeah.
Talking about his career and ups and downs. It was good. It covered a lot in a short. It's a long doc. It's probably close to 2 hours, but they cover a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So
was Vivi in it?
No.
Really?
No, that didn't end well.
That's
yeah,
still.
but still, as he
Wendy
was getting close to death and stuff, do you think he'd want to
Wendy doesn't like
reconcile or
Vivian.
anything?
Wendy doesn't like
Wendy.
him.
All right, she cock blocked.
It's kind of like a Sharon Osbourne thing. She don't like him. He's never going to be a doc for Dio. So yeah, they had I don't remember if that was the doc where they talked a little bit about it. I don't think they did mention. I think I'm thinking of some other interview I heard, but he and Ronnie didn't see eye to eye. He wanted more money, and
Vivian,
Ronnie's like, I'm the leader here now,
right?
Which after all that time, I mean, he made some good points. Dio, like, he flopped around with Rainbow and Black Sabbath, and then he finally, when he hit it with his solo career, he was making the calls for the first time in his life, and I mean, he was like in his 50s or late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So he struggled for a long time. She said they were broke at some points in his career.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's a book that I think someone should write. Somebody who's been in Deep Purple, like Ian Pace for longest.
Yeah.
The stories he's got to tell about Ritchie Blackmore and all the singers they've had. That's got to be a great story in there somewhere that's just not told.
Nobody. They all say he was a rough guy to be around, but nobody dishes him.
No, you don't really hear.
Ritchie,
He's a really difficult person. He's a perfectionist, and he's kind of a little out there. But you don't hear anybody just out and out say, like Ingwe Malmsteen, he's an asshole. That type of thing. He just,
yeah.
He's an asshole.
Well, I've got. I watched the greatest night in pop. It was on Netflix. It's about the making of We Are the World.
Oh, I watched that. Yeah,
that was
it was all right.
Yeah,
kind of got snoozy, but
there was. But I mean, the interesting. There was a few interesting parts in there. Kind of how it started rolling. Got going. Originally, Lionel was one of the guys writing the song. He's supposed to try to get Stevie Wonder.
Stevie never showed.
Yeah, he never called.
Prince was at the hotel.
Well, he couldn't find the keys to his car.
Yeah.
No, it's just originally he goes. They call him. And he's like, yeah, I'll call him back. He never calls him back. So they end up getting Michael Jackson to help write the song. And Stevie shows up there. They show up because they were doing it the night right after the Grammys back then.
American Music Awards.
Oh, that's right. The American Music Awards. And Stevie shows up figuring they're going to write the song. They're going, no, we got the song already written, because we got to do it. We got to get everything done tonight. It was kind of interesting where they showed where they made the demos for everybody. So they had to pass the demos out to all the people that were going to be singing leads, so they knew what they were singing, the song and stuff like that.
I thought it was funny was who's the country guy that said, all right, I'm out of here.
Oh, Waylon?
Waylon Jennings, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a part.
This is taking too long, man. I'm out of here.
Well, no, it was the part where all of a sudden Stevie Wonder wanted to sing one of the lines of the chorus in Swahili. And everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
What? And he's singing it, and everybody's trying to listen because because they were going to do it as one of the chorus lines, and everybody's like, "Well, what is he saying? What is he saying?" Everybody's like, "Huh?" And that's when Waylon goes, no, this is taking too long." And he's hilarious. And he does it nonchalantly. He doesn't make a big scene, but because they had the cameras. They had like 3 cameras that were filming this thing. And all of a sudden, you just see him walk away. He just walks right through.
And then Bob Dylan
do the old
lost.
Irish. The Irish exit. They just kind of slowly fade out of the room and stuff.
What they were saying about Bob, because Bob doesn't like to be in big crowds.
No.
And they're doing all this recording stuff, and you can see his eyes are kind of moving around like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because when they go to record his parts, they had everybody leave the room so he can sing it. And that's when he goes, and they went up to Steve. He goes, here, come over up on the piano. He goes, play that part again on the piano. And he was able to pick it up. But yeah, everybody had to leave the studio area. But I mean, it was just kind of interesting and kind of neat how they went through everything. The lead up to it there, and then they had all the going around and singing all the vocal leads and stuff. And what was it? Al Jarreau had a little bit too much to drink. So he's trying to sing his part and he's messing up the whole time. And you can see everybody just kind of like, oh man, people's just kind of sitting there going, all right, when is this? This is taking a long time because they didn't get done till like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So they were there all night doing all that stuff. But, but they got, there was a lot of guys that, like Steve Perry, Daryl Hall, they nailed theirs right off the spot. They came in one take and they were done.
Yeah.
So, but it was just, I mean, like I say, you knew a lot about, you read and you heard a lot about everything about that, but it was just some of the little, behind the scenes stuff.
They need to have one on the heavy metal one deal, dude.
Stars.
I bet you that'll probably come out. They did have
a doc?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They had that kind of that making.
Special on MTV, the making of Stars.
Yes, that's right. They did.
Oh, they should re-show that.
I think I've got it on.
This was a brand new thing they just did.
Right. Yeah,
there was one on that one before.
Yeah, but no, this one here because they had interviews with one of the lighting guys, Lionel, Kenny Loggins, and your buddy Huey Lewis.
He's my buddy.
Yes, he is.
Where was Dan Fogelberg?
He was dead.
Was he dead? No, he wasn't.
Well, no, not then, but he was. Yeah,
his career was dead back then, but he wasn't dead yet. Yeah. Well, his career, did it ever start?
For a half hour, he had a moment.
I must have been sleeping during that half hour.
But the one interesting part, they're also interviewing Sheila E. And at the time, she was in Prince's touring.
Yeah, they wanted her to kind of get Prince there.
Right, they were trying to talk Prince into coming because they wanted him to sing.
She was going to do a drum solo or something, and then once Prince didn't show up, we're not going to do that now.
Yeah. Plus he goes, I want to play a guitar solo. He says, well, there's no guitars in the song, so how are we going to do a solo? So he was at some restaurant or something like that, and they kept trying to get him over. And it's like, no, he ain't coming. And you can say after she goes, after a while, they kind of were keeping me there, figuring, promising me or kind of like keeping me there. And then I realized, because they want Prince to show up because he was hot for her at the time. Right. So then she's like, I'm out of here. So she's like, nope, I'm done. I did my part and I'm out of here. So are we ready for the show tonight? You guys excited? Everybody ready to roll? All right.
I'm more excited than I've ever been.
Okay, cool. And one of the topics we're going to start out, we have a couple topics we're going to do today. And one of them is our favorite and best concerts and some of your worst concerts that you, these ones that we seen or we attended.
I mean, how would it be your best concert if you can go to it?
Well, maybe we watched them on YouTube or something.
Greatest concert on TV the other night.
Well, back in the old MTV days, they would have these concerts and stuff.
Yeah, I think
the old PBS.
Yeah, we'll say that for another time. It's got to be ones you attended.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You were actually there.
Because people could say that about the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Yes.
But I mean, this is going to be a concert you actually went and bought tickets for and sat down and almost got hit by a Frisbee.
Okay. Yes, that's right. It's back in the day.
Ball.
Yeah, that's back in the day. At some of the outdoor shed shows, you could probably get hit by a Frisbee or
half the show was set up where you try to score some beer and then you got to figure out how you're going to get it into the arena. And it's like, okay. So it was a show, but it was also the show before the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Mike starts.
Oh, okay.
We'll let Mike start.
Okay. We're going to do that then. 1978 Cobo, Jay Giles, Southside, Johnny Nasbert, and Richard T. Bear. Just for the sheer fact that it didn't end till midnight, freaked out Mike's mom, who was calling my mom, and this is before cell phones and everything else.
It was later than that, and that's number one on my list.
Yeah,
too.
it was. I'd been to a couple shows before then, but that was just one of those shows where it was just a party from nonstop. I was still kind of green to the concert scene, so to speak, and it was a great time. It was, the beach balls flying in the air, the Frisbees, the smell of dope that much, not as, that much,
That actually is the one I had number one on my list. And the thing I remember about that one is the house lights came on and people were leaving.
And they came back out.
Peter Wolf comes back out with the house lights on. He's like, "Where are you people going? We're not done yet." I mean, they started playing again. It was wild. That's before the curfew thing. They had to be done by a certain time. And I think it was past 12. It was the next day. And it was just one of those shows, man, where nothing was. That's back when concerts weren't planned like they are now. Mm-hmm. The set list was good. Like Mike said, it was
Sanctuary Tour.
Yep, Sanctuary Tour.
Great album.
And I mean, they were flying high on that album too. I mean, that's that album came out. One Last Kiss was the first single, but that I still remember that one. That's number one on my list.
Okay, cool. You guys got anything else?
Well, yeah, I just did my best. Okay. He just jumped on top of that. It's your turn.
I don't. Well, probably one of them that I probably one of the best ones. I'm trying to figure. I had a couple best ones. I've never actually seen him in concert, but
really,
yeah, no, but probably it was probably one of my favorites was Gary Moore at Harpo's, which I did talk to him back earlier during the live album one, because that's the one where they recorded the live album. That was, I mean, he was on fire that night. Everything they did, his playing was fantastic that night. Guitar solos, everything. You probably listen to the album and you probably hear it and sense it. But no, he was on fire that night. So
can we hear you on the album?
Can you hear what?
Can we hear you on the album?
Yeah, when you hear Babalu, that's me.
We tried so hard to get Babalu to be a staple every time we go to a live show.
Yeah,
Babalu.
That was probably, I mean, like I say, that was probably one of them that probably wasn't obviously I don't know.
What tour would that have been?
That was the Victims of the Future tour.
Okay.
That was 84.
Who was in the band? Was that a three-piece then?
No, that was, he had Bobby Schwinard playing drums. Because
the fat ass from Billy Squire?
Yes, because Ian Pace was on the European tour and Bobby was on the U.S. tour.
What a sloppy looking dude.
And
he looked like Leonard Hayes young. From Y&T, same thing. Just look like two lumpy guys.
Yeah.
All right, my turn again. Now it's my turn. Well, you took my number one.
Oh, sure.
But I have another.
Take two.
Okay.
Number two would be, well, not in necessary order, but AC/DC on the For Those About to Rock tour at Cobo.
Okay.
Coming off the Back in Black album. And then that album came out I think in 81. And the place was just packed. I remember being real hot, and they were really good. I mean, they were just on fire, and they were, at the peak of their, with Brian Johnson at least.
Right.
The show was great. So they played, almost the whole Back in Black album plus the new one. Uh-huh. And then threw in some of the old AC/DC songs. But I just remember the place was just packed, man, and people were just fired up. It was back in the day again where concerts were a little different. They had the cannons, but no fancy lasers or anything. It was more about the music back then too.
Right,
so
yeah,
I remember that one. That was another one that I chalk up as a memorable favorite concert. Mike?
They didn't have opening bands, did they, AC/DC back then?
Yeah, I think somebody did. I can't remember.
But it was just kind of some
no-name. It was like a nobody.
I got you. All right. Well, obviously, I'm going to steal Kurt's second one here, too. The US Festival, day 3.
Yeah.
In California.
What, day 2?
No, that was...
Day 2 was a heavy metal day.
Oh, you're right. Day 3 was David Bowie. Day 2, heavy metal day.
Yes.
Just because it wasn't the first outdoor festival I went to, but it was the flaming biggest. And it was a show to get to the show.
Right.
I mean, we had to rent a car in Pasadena, drive from Pasadena out in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Yep.
With no floodlights, no street lights. How we found our cars after the show in the middle of the night, I have no idea. Slept in our car.
We slept in the car.
Got up the next morning. Yeah. It was.
Well, that was. Plus, because we had my brother with us.
Yeah.
I ended up sleeping in the the back in the back seat.
Right.
That's when we had the car we had. You were able to recline the seat all the way back, and you reclined it back onto my head. I was like, you gotta. He's like, what? Well, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
We found that in the pitch black of night on that. We just
and
walking.
how we got out of there, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, and how we survived it. I mean, if you look back,
was that Van Halen that headline? That?
It was about midday when Ozzy came on a Judas Priest, and it was hot as hell. I mean, you had to have a hat on. It was again, you're in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
But as soon as the sun went down behind the mountains and stuff,
it got cold.
It got cold. People were building bonfires up there on the hill. I mean, in the area there to keep warm and stuff. One extreme to the other. I remember vividly you and I taking a break during Triumph set. We went under a semi tractor trailer, and I had a red Slurpee. Just to try to, kind of cool off. And just, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Were you wearing like bandanas around your leg and stuff?
No, it was pretty much just shorts and a t-shirt and a hat. It was just.
You weren't metal?
We were.
Well, you could have tried to be metal, I guess, but it was just so damn hot.
I mean, we were what, 20 years old. We flew out to California. We were just like, hey. We didn't know what was going on. We were surprised because it got cold that night. And Van Halen didn't come on until like midnight or something like that. It didn't go off till 2 a.m. And we were cold.
I just
saw so much stuff in there too that I have never seen before. As far as like just a lot, I've seen a lot of stuff that I did not see before.
We were there. We were standing there, and there was a guy next to us, and he's having a good time. He goes, "Hey man," he goes, "I'm from New Jersey. Where are you guys from?" We go, "Detroit," and he goes, "Man, you're not going to kill me, are you?" We're like, no.
No, and there was those couple girls that were sitting next to us that were doing blow. They had little Coke spoons. I'm going, okay, all right, this is different.
Yeah.
So, and then that was a great trip because we also ended up hitting Gazzari's and the Rainbow, and we did the whole shtick too while we were there too.
Well, that was the opening act was on that. The heavy metal day was Quiet Riot, then one to Motley Crue. So we've seen them before they even became big over here.
And then for some stupid reason, we couldn't stop seeing Quiet Riot.
Yeah, they were coming around.
That's every time we go to see a show.
You seen it once on New Year's Eve?
Yep.
God.
They headlined.
Yeah,
it was them, Night Ranger, and Girls School.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then they came out their second album, and you never heard of them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because Kevin pissed off everybody in the rock world.
Yeah, he didn't play nice with others.
Yeah.
So did I leave out anything there, Kurt, from your memory of the S Festival there?
I just remember the big thing of obviously with Van Halen, but I was just because that was the first time we seen the Scorpions.
Yes, that was you're right.
Was it the planes that flew over?
As soon as they had like do like the Super Bowl, they had the fighter jets come over the top, and it was weird because you're looking up and you hear this big whoosh, and as soon as that died out, they came out just on top of the stage and they broke into
blackout.
Yes. And your eyes went from up here right down to the stage. It was a great show.
Yep. And it just when they came on, they nonstop till they left.
Yeah, they were the best of all of them.
Yeah.
Man, anyone as we all know and heard, they were a little sloppy.
Yeah.
A little drunk too.
I forgot the fucking words. Come on, Dave. Really?
Look at all the people here tonight.
What was another one of his catchphrases? You do it to me again, I'm going to fuck your girlfriend.
That was the guy with the squirt gun. Kept hitting him with supposedly with a squirt gun. And he's like, yeah.
Dave did have a pretty limited patter when it came to, comebacks to hecklers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I stole your second one, so go ahead.
Let's see. Probably, wow, I got quite a few. I would say, well, since we were talking Van Halen, I won't say the Van Halen one that we've seen, but probably another one that I really, really liked that really was really good was probably Alice Cooper on one of the Halloween shows.
Oh, I had that. Yeah.
I mean,
the one he taped for MTV.
Joe Louis. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and because what I thought I liked about that was he had just come off a pretty crappy run there where he was sobering up for a second time, coming off Flush the Fashion, Zipper Catches Skin and stuff. That was kind of his first one coming off a Constrictor, where he was just trying to get himself back in there, and he was still bringing the stage show back.
Yes,
because I think that was the first time I've seen Cooper with the full stage show.
Yeah, but he had all the
smaller,
stops.
More. They were getting a little more narrow, and even now, the last time we saw him, remember, guys, they didn't do a heck of a lot. But the Halloween show, he had all the tricks out there.
Yeah,
and that was a pretty beefy show too, and you could tell that place was packed too. That was a Joe Louis Halloween night.
Yep.
Great marketing tool. Yeah, that was a really, again, that was back when Alice was sober for a second time there. But yeah, he nailed it.
Yeah, that was a show that, you could just everything.
That was a good call. I had that on my list too.
Yeah, from all, from just the musicians and his stage presence, the way he carried on, the way that whole stage show was just like, you come away like, wow. That was a really good show.
Because I saw the Flush the Fashion tour was the first time when Joe Perry's project opened up.
Okay.
Not good. That was when Alice was he was doing coke this time around. He wasn't an alcoholic. He had that. Remember we did that makeup for like Flush of Fashion, where it just looked like he just didn't even try. It was all smeared. It was a pretty sloppy.
Where was
show.
that at?
That was Joe Louis.
Really? He played that Joe Louis on Flush of Fashion?
Yeah, he played that when Joe Perry and Spider was the opening act. Holly Knights Band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
got it.
I digress.
Oh, the songwriter Holly Knight that she does.
Yeah,
she wrote.
She had a band there.
I guess she's got a book out now or something about her life and stuff like that.
All right, so now we back to
me.
Mike.
It's my turn.
Me.
I'm going to go with back in '79 when I'm a big Blackfoot fan.
We should try to guess these.
Blackfoot opened for Nugent at Cobo on State of Shock tour.
We went to that.
Ted admits they gave him a run for his money because they were on fire. And that's when Train came out.
Yep.
And
the Strikes album.
The Strikes album. So they opened and they killed it.
Okay.
So and so therefore Nugent came out and it was a really good show by him too. Mm-hmm. Even though that album didn't do the greatest, he was already starting on his downfall.
Okay, what was
sales State of Shock?
Was that?
Yeah, but I mean sales wise, that was,
yeah. No, I get you.
It came out after Weekend Warriors and
was that one platinum or not platinum?
I don't know, but.
Maybe Weekend Warriors was the last.
Weekend Warriors was platinum.
So maybe that might have been the last platinum album.
But it was still a good show, and Nugent sounded really good too. That's when he had Charlie singing. Yeah. He didn't even have Derek with him anymore. But Blackfoot was killing it. That's the original Blackfoot band too. They
had your buddy Dave Kaswani on bass.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that was
Cliff on drums.
Yeah.
So that one, I remember that one. That was, in fact, that's when we went and got tickets for the second.
Yeah.
So we got Tier C and then we got Tier A.
B, yeah, we went from the yellow ticket Tier C to the red Tier A's, which was the golden ticket.
Yeah, it was loud too, man. I remember that. But
it was funny too. Mike will admit. Well, we may have gone on that show too. Ted Nugent's opening bands didn't always get, let's say, the applause they deserved. I remember a Honeymoon Suite opening up. Yeah, it was literally, I didn't think they lasted too many songs into their set when they kind of said that.
That was bad.
Yeah, I think that was about 5 songs, and they
that was a terrible matchup.
They threw in their hit song and left. That was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that was a New Year's Eve show. That was a terrible matchup.
That was a bad.
But that Blackfoot show was good because Mike was right. They had just broken through with Strikes, and that was a monster lineup that Ricky had.
Yeah. We got to go through bad ones too.
Let's do the next round. We'll start with the bad ones. I don't have as many bad ones as good ones. I do have some bad ones though.
I got a couple bad. I don't have any bad ones. All
right, you did yours. I'll circle back. I'll do one more good from you, and then we'll throw a bad one. We'll just go back and forth from there.
You can do that, yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's see here. Motley Crue, 1984 at the Fox Theater. Kurt and I went to this. Didn't know a heck of a lot about Motley Crue. They had just came out with Shout the Devil. Fox Theater, really small Saxon opened up for them. And we just kind of walked out of there, me and Kurt going, either these guys are the biggest con artists, or these guys are incredible because they had the full stage set up, they had all their gear and stuff. They just came out and it was just body shot after body shot. It was pretty good. We walked out of there going, okay, these guys are it.
These guys might make it.
Yeah. The thing was, back then, a lot of bands weren't doing what they were doing, if you remember. I mean, the hair bands were hair bands, and Motley Crue was still kind of, they came out with the Shout the Devil outfits and stuff. Looked a little bit more menacing. They came across a little bit more menacing. Now, as we look now, they're a bunch of jokes now, but I mean, back then they weren't. They literally were, they were going for it.
Yeah, they came out very aggressive.
Yes.
Just
very yes. They kind of bludgeoned you.
Yeah, because it was like wow.
Yeah, and the Fox Theater 2 was not a place for that. That's they really pretty much blew that place apart.
Yeah. Trying to figure out here. I've got a couple of them. I'm trying to balance a few of them out here. I would,
I'm drawing a blank.
No, you want to phone a friend?
No, I got to phone.
There's so many you could pick.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I got a pretty long list.
I mean,
here too.
probably one that there was a couple, and one of them that was really surprising was the Triumph Allied Forces. We went to see them at Cobo. I was kind of surprised when we got there, just the intensity that they did, their light show, but just they came out and they really just played really hard, and they were really, because they were just about to break over here. They had a couple songs, or songs were getting played on the radio, but I think that was that tour that kind of catapulted them in platinum status.
Well, the good thing about that too is it was a full house because you had a lot of Canadians coming over.
Yeah.
Because Metalworks, what their shop is right up the road to the 401 up there. So you probably got a lot of Canadians coming there. But yeah, that was kind of a weird, someone who grew up on Kiss and loving Kiss and stuff. They had a really weird spin on it where a lot of their stuff was a lot of lights. It just seemed like it was just
there was a
lot of floodlights.
Yeah, a lot of floodlights going.
Because they're watching the documentary.
Yeah, they'd be running back and forth. The lights would go back and forth.
They made them themselves and stuff.
Yeah. But because that was before, because the tour after that was when Rick tried to get very creative in his guitar playing, like when he would do his guitar solos and that he would get
Never Surrender.
Never Surrender. But the Allied Forces, it's like, they were still trying to make, they were still really playing hard to get that respect, And
you're right. They're playing more straight rock and roll.
Yes, they didn't.
More 4-on-4 stuff. They're just going after it.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
So that one there was the one that surprised me. Like, wow, okay, this band I think is gonna be something.
Okay. All right. You want to start off our bad ones?
Bad ones?
Yeah.
I got one that I don't think this will ever get topped either for the rest of my life. So it was Neil Young, and I like Neil Young. We saw him.
We talked about that. Yeah, Tier C, the one with the
landing on water tour or whatever.
Spiders,
yeah. I mean, and I've seen him a couple other times, and he's always good. But this was the tour where, and I was in the 6th row, so I had great seats. I was like geeked up, and he didn't release the Greendale album yet, and he didn't announce this before the tour. This is when they do shit like this, they should be telling people. So what he did is he was really touring that album before it was even released, and it was a story album. So he comes out with these actors acting this album out, and he's playing that album. So one, you never heard it. Two, you don't know what the hell. He's got kids up there and people acting, and literally like 8 songs into it, people were giving him the finger. He didn't play a song that anybody knew until the encore when he played Like a Hurricane, and people were leaving. I've never seen so many people leaving a concert than that one and booing him. It was horrible.
So he didn't play like any of his hits?
Nothing.
No, he came in there with the premise that it was a concept album, and he told you up front what it was, but
no, he didn't. No, I didn't read anything about it. He did after the fact. He started that tour, And I think he was getting so much flack for it.
So he
finally came out and said, look, this is a whatever you want to call concept album.
Right.
And it just was bad, man. And to not play a song anybody knows until the encore, pretty bad.
Yeah.
And not let you know ahead of time. So, like I said, they just actually announced he's coming to Pine Knob. First time he's playing here since like 2018 or something.
Okay.
But you got to really, you don't know what you're going to get with him. Most of the time he does. He'll play, everything. But, this was bad. Really bad. Really bad. It was boring. It was bad. And it was disappointing.
Okay.
So that's by far the snore of my concert experience.
Okay. Interesting. Nessa's got this
1982 Harpo's. Crocus opens up for Motorhead. Now, this is before Motorhead. We had an idea who Motorhead was. We kind of liked the songs. Mike and I were sitting there, and there was literally, it wasn't bad because it was bad. It was bad because it was such an uncomfortable experience because the sound was so loud. People had hands over their ears. It felt like you were being punched in the chest with an anvil. It was so physically uncomfortable to be there because the sound was so loud and so overbearing. Again, people were sitting there with their hands over their ears, just leaving. Crocus was good, from what I recall. But yeah, just a brutal, experience. I mean, Motorhead's Motorhead, but that was the first time we've seen them, and we were looking at each other like going, people are just got their hands over their heads. They're almost crying. They're going, make it stop. But it just felt like, someone was just pounding you on the chest with a wooden mallet. It was just, the sound was just so over the top.
It
almost hurt. It almost hurt to listen to it.
I actually saw them before that when Frank used to bounce at the Ritz, and he called me up. So he come on up here and come up here and hang around with me, man. He hated the hard rock stuff,
Okay.
So he calls me up here because you got to come up here and see this asshole that's playing. So I drove up there, and it was Motorhead.
Oh, really?
And you know how small a Ritz was, and it wasn't as loud as Harpo's, but it was. He was like, Frank had like a box of Kleenex in his ear, and Lemmy had the microphone, and I'm like, oh my god, this is. He goes, these guys? I go, yeah, they're from England. He goes, he's a fucking asshole. He goes, this isn't music.
It's funny how later on we kind of got to, we got the Motorhead thing, but yeah, it was the
bass.
Physically,
I remember the bass being real loud.
Yes, it was physically abusive.
Thumping loud.
Oh yeah, because he played the bass and that was his band. And all right.
And the weird thing is we all know Harpo's, the stage was elevated, so the amps were there, and we were in the pit, the front. Yeah. So theoretically, the sound should have went over our heads. But instead, it was coming down at us from the side because those speakers off to the side where the side doors were. It was just, again, it was brutal. I
don't think it mattered. It was so loud.
No, I think I cracked a rib. I think it was so loud. Oh, I just cracked
I remember calling you up the next day. My ears are ringing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Top that.
Mine probably was...
Dan Fogelberg.
It was probably I can't remember if it was Don Dokken. I can't remember if it was doing one of the Dokken shows or if it was him doing his solo tour.
Was it New Year's Eve?
I believe so. Yes,
that was the one you and I went to where he was so hammered.
Yeah, and that's right. That's right. And he's trying to act like Jim Morrison and stuff like that. He's standing up there doing, and that's just like he was too drunk to really perform, and I think the band probably realized it and said, "All right, let's just get through this and celebrate New Year's Eve in Detroit."
He was probably at a stage in his career. Like I said, Kurt and I went to that one. That. He had John Nornham, right, playing guitar at that time. Yep. He's in Detroit on New Year's Eve playing the Ritz.
Yeah.
I mean, how long does it sink for me from there? I mean, this guy was, the guy's supposed to be a superstar and stuff. He's caught in a shithole bar in Detroit. Yeah, I don't blame him for getting hammered and stuff. It just, we felt kind of ripped off.
Yeah, it was, it was, you're watching and I'm thinking, all right.
Yeah, you're right. That's funny you mentioned it because it did come off like he'd kind of like hold on the microphone.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was to keep him vertical or what.
Could have been. It could have been.
He was just sloppy.
Yeah.
You're right. He could have pulled his Johnson out there and stuff like Morrison or whatever. He was not. Yeah. He was not there.
I was waiting for him to kick in like L.A. Woman or something like that. It's like, all right, what's next? See, it was bizarre after seeing him a couple of because we've seen him.
Always a great a great show. We've seen him at Harpo's. We've seen him open up for a bunch of people and stuff. It just seemed like he just didn't give a shit that particular day, and unfortunately, we bought tickets to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because and now I mean I don't know what's going on with him and like George and Jeff. They're he's complaining that I shouldn't have gave them guys money and Jeff's
probably making more in Foreigner than Don George has actually got his shit together now too.
Yeah,
Don sounds like he's chewing on some sour grapes.
George still plays a couple songs here. Like he'll go and play 2 songs. He said on the radio that Don won't pay him. So he'll pay him a little bit. He'll come out and play the last 2 songs of the night.
Yep.
He pays to get him there.
Yeah. I heard the interview.
There's not going to be a full tour with them together because Don wants all the money.
Right. And then it was listen to the interview with George that whoever Don has in the band now as a guitar player, he's not going to scoot that guy off to the side to let George do a tour.
Right.
So they come on, he does a couple encore songs. It's all pre-set up that these are the songs we're going to play. You're going to come out there and do them, and that's it. It's like
goes home, takes his money.
Well, that's kind of handy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, and George is just doing it just out of the thing of, because hey, I was in the band at one time. People wanted to see me up there playing, so I don't know what's Don's deal lately on all that stuff.
Again, chewing on sour grapes.
Yeah.
He made some bad decisions. He let his ego get in the way, but a lot of those guys did.
Yeah.
But some of these guys now are just coming to grips with, they're becoming a little more self-aware.
Yeah. But he's got some health issues, so I'm sure he's probably.
Yeah, he's paralyzed in one arm. He can't play guitar anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some, it affected his vocals for a while.
Yeah.
Because of that. He had an operation supposedly on his neck that, did some.
Went bad or something.
Yeah, went bad. Yeah, the doctor, and he was trying to sue the doctor or whatever. Like says, he was partially paralyzed, and it also affected his vocals and stuff like that. So, that show was kind of like you say, even though it was New Year's Eve, it's like
there's no excuse,
right? Then don't book it. Don't book the show. If New Year's Eve,
if you're not going to be invested again, I mean, it's not. You weren't playing Kobo on New Year's Eve. Right. You were playing a little shithole place in Roseville.
Yeah.
So he probably sat there and went, he probably pulled in, and we all know where that was at. Yeah, it's next to a fucking bowling alley. This is great.
I know,
What have I done to deserve this?
Yeah, it's at the Ritz.
Oh, no,
it's at the Ritz. It was at the Ritz.
Yeah, he pulled in. There's a Kmart across the parking lot there at the Eastgate. Plaza's going, what the hell have I done? Who
Jim Freeman's down at the other end. Yeah,
exactly.
Getting a bigger crowd than him.
Exactly. He's going, well, who have I hurt in my life? This is where I'm at now. All right, you want to do one more round of bad?
Yeah.
Start with you.
Hate to say it.
Oh, you'd love to do this. Yeah, I want the bad.
I hate because I love these guys, but the Mescalero tour for ZZ Top 2003 at Pine Knob. They played for like an hour, and that was it. It was cold. I don't know if that was the reason. I'm sorry,
where was it at?
Huh?
Where was it at?
Pine Knob.
Knob.
And it was not they played a lot off the new album, and that album wasn't, didn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they played for about an hour, and it was a good night, and they took off. So I think if I remember right, it was one of the it was like Loverboy opened up or something. But,
okay.
I love ZZ Top, and I've seen them before. They've always been good. That was a real disappointing one. Yeah. I don't know if it was an off night, if it was cold for them, but they did it. Just it was a quick show. I think we were out of there like 10 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. And a lot of people, I wasn't just the only. A lot of people on the way out were saying the same thing.
Okay.
Left a lot of hits out, played a lot of new stuff, and didn't play long at all. I was surprised because we saw them. on the Eliminator tour. I think it was it Eliminator at Joe Louis? I think Gene and they were great, man. Mm-hmm. But this one, they missed it on this one. So
that'd be an interesting topic too. Your favorite bands. What was the worst concert you went to? But that's a different one right now.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of dovetail off of Kurt's Don Dawkins wrist fiasco and the one we all three of us went to. 1982 Harpo's The Joe Perry Project, Barefoot Joe Perry, Smack-addled Joe Perry, Drunk Joe Perry with Danny Hungate on bass and Cowboy Mark Bell on lead vocals. That was sloppy.
Well, it's a rocker, always a rocker.
Oh my! Michael, we
he
all
was at
three
the
of us.
height. He was at the height of his heroin, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
that was. Yeah,
they stayed right by your house.
Yeah,
found out
the hotel
found
right
out
there
on the book,
off the freeway there.
Stay right there at the what's the name of that place?
Woodcrests. Yeah,
Parkcrest.
Something like that.
Yeah. That was an interesting show. You know, he was so stoned that he dropped the guitar at the end and walked off with it dragging.
Good night. Dragged his guitar. Yeah, that was bad.
And the funny thing is that Mike and I are both. Actually, Mike got it for me. We read Cowboy Mark Bell's book. And he would never...
Not Mark.
Mock.
Right. It's Mock, though.
He would never admit it in that book that Joe was on smack. He would just say, he's feeling off or whatever. Yeah. He would never admit he was
well, he's still hoping to get back in the Joe Perry Project.
Well, at the very end, Joe says, you read the book at the very end, he promises, you know what, I went back for the money, but you know what, you're always tight. You know, if anything happens, I'll give you a call. Gets Joe Perry Project back together. Who do you call? Not Cowboy Mock Bell.
Gary Sharon.
Yeah. So, that was one of those shows that, again, we all three of us were there. We kind of looked at each other like, wow, he has lost his mind.
Didn't he play like Harpo's like 3 times a year back then? It was like he was coming all the time.
Because he was
broke.
Yeah. And he knew that he could come into town and
and you know what? You're right, because he would draw a crowd. It wasn't like he was...
He was always crowded.
Yeah. Oh. But that was really disappointing. He's barefoot. And it's like, he just didn't look good. And we all kind of went...
Yeah.
Although he did have a good opening with...
he had the William Tell Overture.
I remember that opening was really cool, man. Dude. And then it had the Lone Ranger. Dude. Then he comes out doing like Toys in the Attic or something. Then...
Yep.
Then it went downhill after that. That was about the best part of the show.
I forgot about him dropping his guitar and dragging it because you already did that. It was that white left-handed strap.
Yeah.
Clear. It was clear. It was a clear one.
That's not the Strat. The clear one.
Oh no, he had a clear Les Paul.
Yeah. That's that
looked like a Les Paul.
Yeah, but that was funny.
Yeah.
You could hear dragging about some.
And I felt bad for the guys in the band because those guys are busting their ass. They're just trying to.
Oh yeah.
And when your lead singer, your lead guy, is just falling apart. It's like, what am I doing working for this guy? It's like he can't get together.
He broke a string and he turns and he holds the guitar up and calls to the roadie. He says, "Hey, I broke a string. Can you hurry up and get me another guitar?" Guy's got to run out there and shit. It's like, dude, just finish, play the song.
I remember Mike going, he doesn't have any shoes on. I didn't even notice. And he didn't. He was barefooted. Leather pants and barefoot.
It's funny when the three of us can, recollect different parts of the same show and stuff, like what you picked out and stuff. Like I said, and we've been on Harpo stage. Shameless plug for Zono. We were all on that stage at one point. I'm lucky I'd wear 2 pairs of shoes walking on Harpo stage.
I know,
let her walk around barefoot.
Yeah.
Plus he had to get to the stage from wherever he was on the parking lot or whatever. It's like, Joe was not.
He wasn't in good shape.
No, he was in a bad space.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, let's
got a ballad for us, Kurt?
Probably that one there was probably because you're thinking back on some of them. You're like, all right, I mean, there's probably some that maybe the opening act I really didn't care for, but they were okay. But no, that was probably a couple of them ones there that the one LA Guns because we seen them once.
Oh, not the one at the Palace, that contraband one where he had a...
No, it was the one where we went and seen him.
Because I don't remember a bad LA Gun show.
The one where he...
In fact, one of the better ones is in here.
Well, yeah, the one. Well, we seen him. What I think
St. Andrews. That was one of my best.
Yeah,
ones.
that was really good.
That was another one.
Yeah, because we didn't know. Yeah, we just walked in there going, not knowing what's going on. But then we seen him the second time on the second album at the Ritz, which was good. But then remember remember the one they played where Phil was kind of drunk too. I think they were playing that one. It was the headline at the Ritz, I think, again. Where he was kind of drunk, where he was talking about the guitar players that play their guitar up high, and well,
I don't recall that. I do remember the Ritz show though. I remember seeing him at the Ritz.
Well, I think we've seen. I've seen him twice at the Ritz.
Right.
And the first one was they were touring the album, the second album, that was a really good show. But then I remember Phil one time he was kind of buzzed maybe, but he was talking about the guitar players. He was griping about guitar players, the guy that plays the guitar up high and all this stuff. But you could tell he was kind of drunk. Because even Tracy was looking over him going, all right, enough, Phil.
Remember we saw LA Guns, a different version, open up for Rat at the Fox? Who?
No, that was at Freedom Hill.
No, this was
with
this
Doc
when Rat. This is when Rat toured that album. I've got it.
It's got with Rogie.
No. This is way before that. This, in fact, on the way there, I think your ticket blew out the window.
That's why I didn't see him.
That's right.
That was at
the.
It was at the
Fox. That's right.
And
I remember that.
LA Guns opened up, and I don't remember who the singer was. It wasn't Phil.
That's right. Phil left the band for a while.
Who was the singer? It was a blonde-haired guy.
I know who. Yeah, it was. I know who you're talking about because that was basically when I think Tracy was the only original member in the band at that time.
I think so
because
they have been the same since Mick Grip left.
Yes, Mick was the grip. Mick Grips was the grip of the band.
Squatty.
Yeah, that was.
That's right. Because
that was when Rat was trying to make a. That's when Piercy came back.
Yep.
And he had gone away for a little bit, and I think Robin was gone now. I think he died. And they were trying to come back. They made that like kind of an industrial album.
It wasn't that Infestation.
No, it was way before that.
Okay,
it was like after they had that album Collage.
Yeah,
that might have come out after this one. But it didn't do anything. It was a yellow cover. It's got a couple good songs.
Yeah,
on it,
I know which one.
But it's more of a grunge album actually. Grunge sound.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
But LA Guns opened, but it wasn't.
Yeah, because there was a while there that Tracy was out touring. Phil wasn't in the band because they had him and them two guys had a little bit of an argument there, like surprisingly that most bands, but yeah, and he basically went out with a whole new band. Steve Riley wasn't even in the band and
he was in Wasp at that point, right? Wasn't he?
No, I think he was in Wasp before LA Guns.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, he was in Wasp because I think when we seen him, I think Steve was in the band when we seen Wasp.
Yeah, but he's on the first LA Guns album. That's why I thought he started out with LA Guns and then he went to Wasp.
No, because he was in Wasp earlier with like Last Command and things like that. That was the early 80s because LA Guns came in with the later 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there was that big thing there that Tracy went out and just got a whole new band. I remember that.
Yep.
Okay. You want to do a palate cleanser here and do a round of good ones? Or you still want to stay with the bad ones?
Mom. I mean, I'm done. I mean, as far as
you have a list. Me and Mike got a list.
Okay, well, I mean, we can go on. Well, I mean,
all right, you go home, and then me and Mike will just talk here.
No, do you want? We can go back to the good ones if you want. I don't have.
As far as that goes, you can chime in because you've probably been to a lot of these.
Yeah, I could probably do that. I mean, I have some good ones that I want. That I know.
Write them down. You're not prepared.
They're all up in the mind, man. All up in the mind.
Yeah, but see, that's a problem. Your mind is a terrible thing. All right, Mike. Mike, you want to give us a good one?
Probably because it was my first concert, but I'd have to say Aerosmith at Cobo in like 77.
Okay.
It was between Rocks and Draw the Line. So they were coming out with Draw the Line. It wasn't released yet, but it was my first concert, so it was brand new territory for me. Mark Rathnaw was with. I went with him. I can't remember.
Pastiva, Gary Pastiva. Did you go with him?
It might have been Gary, and it was like smoke filled dope at Cobo, and I was
cool.
It was just
and that was
couldn't
just
even
the car
see
on the way
stage.
down there.
But I remember it being loud.
Okay,
and it got myself a T-shirt.
Oh.
I still have it somewhere packed away because it doesn't sure fit.
Okay.
But Michael Stanley Band opened up.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Oh.
And he had I don't know what kind of guitar Michael Stanley had, but it was like the biggest white guitar I've ever seen.
Okay.
It was huge. And he didn't go over great. I mean, they were kind of booing him around a little bit, but again, kind of a mismatch. But Aerosmith sounded good, and it was the old grinding Aerosmith, and I'm sure it was starting to be the downfall with the drugs and everything, but I couldn't tell, But that was probably the smokiest concert I've been to, because it was just packed. It was at Cobo.
You had a contact buzz?
I don't even know.
How could you not?
I know.
We've all been to Cobo.
Especially if you're up in Tier C when everything rose up there.
I think most people became asthmatics after you went to like 3 Cobo shows. Like, okay, your lungs are shot for good. You're on inhaler the rest of your life.
But I thought, it was the first concert. It was cool. I mean, the atmosphere was good, and ever since then we've been going to shows.
Yep.
Being that you're out,
I got one.
All right.
It would have to probably be Stevie Ray Vaughan at Royal Oak Music Theater on the second album.
All right.
Couldn't
I'm going to
stand
top you here. What about the Stevie Ray Vaughan show we saw with Jeff Beck at Cobo?
No, that was a really good show too.
Both
were
which
on
one
fire.
was better?
Well,
I saw
that one
saw
there
him at Pine Knob about a year before he died.
Okay, yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't a bad Stevie Ray show.
No, but that was
the one I saw was good too.
Yeah, because the one with Jeff Beck was
on my list.
That was the In Step album, and that's when he was sober. He got himself sober after that. Because with the time when the first time I seen him was I Couldn't Stand the Weather, second album, where that's when they were on, when they were doing a lot of heavy partying, the whole band was. And that was before Reese Winan was in the band. It was just a 3-piece back then. So, but that was a smoking show. He came out and just kicked it.
Well, because I had that Stevie Ray Cobo show on there.
That was a really good show.
At the very end, remember, they both came out on stage. It was just ripping, and we just sat there like schoolgirls going, like they had the Beatles.
No,
crying in your seat.
The one of the big things that I remember about the Cobo show that he opened up for Beck was when he did the cover of the Buddy Guy tune, "Leave My Little Girl Alone."
Yeah,
he was up there on the stage just ripping it when he's playing the solo. I just went, "Oh,
people
man."
just, and you're right, people just. It was like almost going to a symphony. It was that really quiet. Just kind of sat there and just went, "Oh,
yeah, everybody,
man,
wow, dude."
Yeah, they might have been asleep. They could have been asleep. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
See, I thought I tripped you up. Made you think though.
Yep.
I got worried when I said that. I'm going, he's going to have one of those Fleetwood Mac Eagle things where I can't make a decision. We're going to have to go to a shootout. I'm going to think. All right. I'm going to do, I was going to save this, but 1996 Kiss at Tiger Stadium. I was fortunate enough to get tickets. That was incredible. Alice in Chains opened up. The last show, one of the last shows before Lane Staley died. Basically, the guy looked translucent. I mean, he was almost see-through at that point. He was just pasty as all get out. He wasn't well. So it wasn't an Alice in Chains thing. It was obviously, not to go over, a story everybody knows about, the whole reunion, everybody getting back together, yada, yada. Set list was great. The only problem is they kept using that same set list for the next 5 years down the road. They didn't really, say that was a great set list, but say, okay, every tour after that was the same set list.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you didn't deviate toward it until the very end. But it was great. It was fantastic. It was everything you saw in the videos and stuff. I loved it.
Okay.
Cool.
No, that was.
Well, see, I could talk more about it, but it's just everybody's seen the videos. And you could pretty much, it is what you saw. It was nuts. It was pandemonium. That whole Michigan Trouble Court. It was like opening day for baseball. People were all in the streets. They were all geeked up. They had makeup on, and just it was cool. All the bars were filled. Nemo's was filled.
That opened the tour up, right?
Yeah, that opened the first
yes,
show,
because that was
MTV
a very
there.
yes, because you're right. They did open a tour in Detroit with that. It sold out in like 30 minutes, and I don't know how I got tickets, but I did. Yeah. We were sitting up in upper deck, me and Al Rice. It was upper deck down the first base line, hot as hell. God, it had to be about 90 degrees that day.
Huh.
But it was great. It was probably the best Kiss show I've ever seen. Just for the fact, great song list. I mean, it wasn't a lot. There was no boners. It was all hits, no fillers. And then kind of the second one was the one you guys are at. And it wasn't because it was really a super, super great show. It was just we were front row for Kiss during Creatures of the Night.
Oh. And you know what? They didn't tour a lot, that album.
No.
Either.
And the thing was, we not only saw the scariest thing in our life, which was Wendy O. Williams' crotch.
Yeah, open.
But, the second thing was, the coolest thing was when Gene with the spit blood and Kurt had to back up.
I was like, oh, man, yeah.
You were there, right?
Yeah. You caught a pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the best show just for the fact that it was a good set list, and it was good.
The tank drum riser.
But it was just so cool because I don't think I've ever sat that close. It's like, holy cow, he's like right in front of me.
If I remember right,
he's going to spit on Kurt.
If I remember right, wasn't that a pretty light crowd for Kiss standards?
Yeah, that's why we got in the front row.
Yeah, that didn't sell out. That was a good album.
The floor was full. A was filled, but like the sides of B and C, but like the back of B and the back of C was empty. But that was when they were, again, that's back when they're thinking about, we're going to drop the makeup. So, but there's no other reason why I would have gotten front row if they were selling out I remember going to Hudson's. You had to line up at Hudson's. Before 10 o'clock, they'd let you in there, and you had to deal with the mall walkers and stuff. You had to line up there, and I got right. I go, wait, this is just too easy. I almost was rethinking myself. I go, wait a minute, I got the day right? The tickets on sale.
They're going on sale here, right?
Yeah, they're here, right?
Right
they're
here,
not around the corner.
And
I got her, front row. I'm going, no shit, no way.
Yeah.
I said, I took you guys and stuff, and we went to just. Again, that's cool. That's front row seats. That was pretty cool.
The interesting thing about that show was because Vinnie Vincent was in the band.
Yep.
Playing it, being Vinnie as he, as we all have been finding out about him.
Everything.
But we found out about how strange he was down the road years afterwards. But there was a part where Paul, where they're playing, and Paul turned to him and yelled at him, "Sing."
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting. It was kind of neat because Paul was getting pissed at him. Was that early in the tour?
No, they would usually come to Detroit right around the same time every year, like February, March-ish.
Okay.
They didn't do a lot of kickoff tours outside of Tiger Stadium thing there too. There's a book I've got from Julian Gill that goes through all the tours. They have the tour dates, and then some of them have like set lists and little blurs from like the various newspapers and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a pattern of how they used to plan their tours out. And we were kind of like a February, March thing. Rarely do they come like in the summer or in the dead of winter and stuff. So no, and they were always kind of, they didn't necessarily start in Detroit because I guess they wanted to, they started somewhere like in the East Coast and they'd work their way there.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I just remember him yelling at him like, "Uh-oh, looks like he's not happy with him."
Yeah, no, I just thought that, again, it wasn't the greatest show in the world, but I mean, it was the greatest show because we were that close.
that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. And then another thing was the Lick It Up tour. We were row 3 or something like that?
I remember that too. We were pretty close for that. That one, Adrian Vandenberg.
Yes, Vandenberg opened up. Yeah. I also remember we were sitting there and, all of a sudden, there was 2 people that came down and sat next to me because I was at the one end. Right. Look over, and there's these 2 girls scantily dressed, Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And of course, after Vandenberg, come on, they played. Next thing you know, I look over and they're gone, and there they are going backstage.
Really? They went for Vandenberg?
Well, no, probably Kiss or whatever. Probably,
okay.
I'm thinking that probably that someone, one of the roadies was told to, someone probably,
I got a target row 3, seat 5. Go give her a pass.
Yeah,
I've heard stories about that.
Yeah.
Every band does that.
Yeah, because those of those looked over and I'm like, oh, hey, what? Yeah, okay, right. These girls are.
I kind of dominated that section there. You got another best one?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do. You probably remember this one, and I think you got the tickets too. And I don't know how you swung it, but it's probably the last time they played here too. It was the Kinks at the Fox.
Oh yes,
we were right in the front, like first row or something. Word of mouth tour.
Yes, it was. It wasn't the Come Dance. It was one right after.
Yeah, and I don't think they've come back since. That was, I think, did they?
No, they played.
I think that's the last.
I seen them at Pine Knob. I seen them at Pine Knob
Did
after
they?
that. Yeah.
But really, because I think Mike might be onto something. Because I remember that was back when I was still sneaking cameras into the
I remember
it was a great show, man. They sounded good. We were right in front of Ray Davies, and he was still younger, and he was jumping around. It was a good show, man.
Boy, I wish they could do a reunion.
I know that's one band
they physically can't. Obviously,
one band I was hoping that at some point they would have got back together because I've seen them a couple times and they were always good. We saw him once at Cobo too.
Yeah, they've always been very, very solid. And, now Dave's got some kind of stroke, right? He had
a stroke, but I think he can.
And then Ray's got something with his.
Ray gets shot in the leg and he has something in his throat.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll happen. But it would be cool if they did. I'd go see him again. I'm sure they would.
Do you remember about what year that show was at the?
I'd have to check.
Man, that would have been like 85 maybe.
Okay, then. Because I remember seeing
87, maybe?
I seen them, okay, then, because I remember seeing them.
It would be the last commercially successful album they had. Because, it wasn't one they had, like, Give the People What You Want, or it was the very last successful one they had, because after that, they kind of disappeared, like Mike said.
I don't know if they came out with another studio album after that, because they had the Give the People What You Want, and they had State of Confusion, and they came out with Word of Mouth. They had three albums that got a lot of airplay, a lot of MTV, and they played Cobo, and then they played Fox on that tour.
Okay, because I remember seeing them at Pine Knob. That's in the summer of '85.
They had that resurgence and then it blew up again.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got one.
Okay,
I'm gonna steal yours because you were there with me.
Okay,
1988. State Theater again, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yes.
Again, very first tour of the band, very first headlining tour. Now that was scary.
This was even before.
This was before. These guys were. This guy was serious. If you ever saw the old MTV live concert from the Ritz in New York, it was just chaos. And it was the same thing. Me and Kurt go, we've never seen anything like this before. These guys were like a street gang. We didn't know if they wanted to fight us or beat the shit out of us or fuck us or whatever. They were just, it was a force.
Yeah.
They were scary. Me and Kurt walked out, we're going, wow. These guys are going to, this was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that was, because that was even before any radio airplay.
Right.
That was before Paradise City or Sweet Child of Mine. The only thing is I think Welcome to the Jungle was being played on MTV.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And I don't even know. Again, that was back when the three of us would actually take a flyer on a band and say, if you read something in Kerrang or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We couldn't depend on the radio or, TV or whatever, MTV to, let us or help hip us to any bands and stuff. We'd figure shit out. And that's how we all found out about Girls School.
Yeah.
We never heard. I mean, they had very few.
Right. Yeah.
MTV
that was what. Yeah.
Videos,
it was a Kerrang magazine.
Radio
right?
airplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all loved Girls School and stuff, and we saw them several times and stuff. But yeah, we all kind of stumbled upon that one on our own. So kind of same with the Guns N' Roses. We heard the vibe, read, all the stuff about them and stuff, and what a force.
Yeah.
Like I said, I remember me and Kurt just looked at each other and go, wow, these guys are either going to be huge or they're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Were they better than Raven at Harpo's?
Raven had more an interesting setup with the guy with the hockey helmet on who beating himself over the head with the cymbals.
That wasn't a bad concert, but probably one of the most bizarre concerts.
Yes,
the guys had like hockey equipment on and ramps and stuff.
Yeah, he had BMX pads on, and he had the helmet on, and then he had chains coming from them, and then we'd take the cymbal and bang it on his head. Yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right. That was a good analogy. Yes, it was just.
It wasn't a bad concert, but
then he would knock the cymbal. He would knock the cymbal over.
Yeah.
Let the roadie come out. He'd watch him put it stand in the back.
Yeah. And the lead singer, I mean, and his brother, because his brother, they had these really cheesy, like, life vests on there with the sleeveless vest. It was just a weird.
They still tour.
Really?
Yeah, they played the Token.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember saying
I don't think they wear the gear anymore.
I don't know if the goofy
do you
guy.
know
Well,
who's-
no, he probably.
No, the brothers still play.
Yeah.
Gallagher brothers.
But I don't think they do the gear anymore.
Okay. Do you know who's coming? Else is coming to the Token?
I know this. Hold on. Don't tell
You
me.
just mentioned the band.
Just mentioned them?
Kiss?
No. Kiss.
Who?
You just mentioned Girls School.
No.
Yeah, they're playing Token.
Yeah, they've played there,
Are they?
but it's nobody. I think there's one
Probably
person in
Kim.
the band anymore.
Kim's probably the only original, or
I'm not even sure if she is.
really, Kim's not.
No, see, no, last time I checked, it was Kim and Denise, the drummer. Jackie Chambers is on guitar. Now, she's been with them long enough now. But this Enid Williams, she was actually the original bass player that left to
She was
start a family. Then she
Came
came
back
back
in?
at the end.
yeah, because she was there at the early
Yeah,
days.
I'd go see that.
Last time they,
I'd go
I
see
don't know
that.
when it was. 'Cause-
I hate the Token, but I'd
but
go
the
see
last
that.
time they played here, I looked and it might be different now, but it was like one person.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because
Yeah.
I do.
Do you know how
kinda-
that goes? They
I do
come
kind
and
of
go.
keep touch with that. I'll every so often I'll go into a girls' school website just to see if they've got a new album I can go buy and stuff, and they're kind of stagnant there. But yeah, I'd go see that.
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
I
if,
hate
like,
the
if-
Token, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'd go
if
see
like
'em.
Kim's singing,
Yeah,
that would be
I'm good.
worthwhile to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go see
Yeah, 'cause
if
obviously-
it's reasonable.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Everybody now thinks they're just okay. I'm going to charge $75. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
We
All
got
right.
some-
You got a couple more for us? If not, I
yeah. Boy.
All right, you're confused.
He's drawn.
You got one?
He's drawn another blank.
You want to
Actually,
step it?
well, actually, no, actually,
He's drawn another.
I got. Well, no, I've got
Grab some
actually.
wood, Bub. I got a pinch hitter in for you.
No, actually, it's actually it kind of varies off from the rock and roll.
Okay.
Oh God, here
stuff.
we go.
Is you were at I went with you, or we went to the show.
Linda Rodstadt.
Well, not
No.
necessarily. No, it was a female singer. It was this was
Bonnie Raitt.
Nope, that was a really good show. The one where the headlining one, or the one where she opened for Jimmy. No, that was
Headlining when actually the one I
I
have on
don't-
my list is the one when
Actually,
the year
the
after
headline.
she won the Grammys with Bruce Hornsby opened up and stuff. And I went with the ex-wife and another couple. I think it might have been you guys.
Yeah, that was when Jeff Healey opened up.
That was right when
Jeff Healey
but
opened
that's-
up.
Yeah,
That
that was
was a
right after
really
she
good
won the
show.
Grammys and shit, and that was a really
that
good
was
set.
that was a
But
tough
anyway, I guess Ron and Ron said
is Casey Musgrave at Royal Oak.
See, no, I thought her first
Well, yeah,
show
I was.
good
Well, I didn't see that show.
from the first album.
I didn't see that one.
But
I
yeah,
seen-
that was good. Yeah, no, that was good. She was moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
She was a little bit more. I don't say
Meaning
less.
side to side, front to back. What direction?
Well, she was side to side because
Okay.
her first album was a little bit more straight country, more same trailer, different park type thing. There, she was still kind of more tongue in cheek, really cool lyrics and stuff. Second album, she got a little more nuance. She started putting keyboards in there. Started appealing to more of a
yes.
LBGQVXYLBL crowd type thing.
Jesus.
So yeah, she was moving that direction, but still a very good singer, very good
I can
songwriter
honestly
and stuff.
say I
but
could not name one song from her. No, I
I'm trying to
Merry-go-round.
think.
couldn't name one song.
Off the,
But it
off
was
the
just-
album we saw, you probably wouldn't. The first one.
It was just. It was.
There's a
Like I say,
couple
it
hits
was. It
off
was a
there,
really
but-
good show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm thinking the radio. No, you wouldn't have. Anyway,
Probably. I don't. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think. No, probably not.
All right,
But
hey, your turn.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
A good one.
Okay.
It was back when the Red Wings beat the Avalanche. I remember that day.
You know this is a music podcast,
I know that
right?
because we had
He's talking about the
my
68
brother-in-law
Tigers.
my brother-in-law moved back from Colorado,
okay.
and the Wings beat them.
All right.
But it was the same night as the Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth show at Pine Knob, and it was packed. I mean, we had to park by the trees on that back lot, it was way oversold.
No, there's trees all around Pine Knob. So which set of trees you put?
The ones where you pull out on the left side, and you got to go all the way to the back of those trees on that grass lot that's kind of up on a hill.
The big trees, or little trees, or the wide trees, or
this was a long walk to get there. And they way oversold the freaking concert.
Maple, ash trees.
And then during the show, you find out the Wings won, and the place went nuts. And David Lee Roth had to open. And he was horrible.
Oh, that's when they were flip-flopping?
It was the Sam and Dave deal.
Okay.
And David Lee Roth comes out with this, like, it looked like he was wearing a tinfoil suit. and you could tell he was pissed that he had to open, and then Sammy came out and just crushed it.
Okay. I was about to say, where do you get to the point where it's the best part? Because, it sounds like the Dave portion of it was pretty bad.
Well, it was the atmosphere. It was packed. I mean, there was a lot of people, and then Dave was kind of lame. He was doing all Van Halen songs, but you could tell he wasn't into it. He just, he went out there, did his show, leaves, and then Sammy comes out, and I like Sammy's solo stuff.
I think Sammy is the best solo.
Then he had Ted come out at the end and play a song, and somebody else came out too, but Sammy blew him off, man. Dave was probably gone already because he didn't look happy. You could tell he did not want to open.
Okay.
All right, so you're talking about Stanley Cups and stuff. Who was with me when we went to Pine Knob in 2002 when we saw the Scorpions and they name checked the Red Wings because they won the Stanley Cup that night when they beat Carolina? We were driving. We went to see the Scorpions. They did Rock You Like a Hurricane, and Klaus Meine mentioned the Red Wings. And before the
probably wasn't
there.
Me then. I don't remember that.
Well, yeah, they won the Stanley Cup that night against Carolina, the Hurricanes.
But we were at the other show. We were at one of the Scorpion shows when Konstantinov was there. And
now we're going off into just little tidbit stories. This is a cool little story because we're sitting there and
grabbing a beer. Yeah, we're grabbing a beer.
We're in a beer line, and this squatty little guy.
No, he was
built. No, he was much taller than us. But he was wide as a house. And he had this really hot girl sitting next to him. I'm just standing there.
There was two of them.
And his wife I kind of nudged Kurt. I'm going.
No, I nudged you.
All right, well.
Because I already grabbed the beer. I nudged you.
Okay, all right. We nudged
Was he in his wheelchair?
No, this is
beforehand.
This is before they won. This is before they won the Stanley Cup.
The cool thing is he was buying beer.
Yeah.
So we kind of looked at each other and go, that's Vladdy. And the funny thing was, there's some jackass walking by, not like 30 yards away from wearing a Red Wings Konstantinov jersey, walked right by the dude, didn't even say anything. So I was like, oh, shit, now I got a ticket stub thing. I got to have him sign something. So I had him sign a ticket stub there, but I says, hey, I don't think we said anything really to him. Say, how you doing, Vladdy? And stuff like the Scorpions. And he's kind of shook his head.
Yeah, because he had the Scorpions shirt. Yeah. I think it was in German. A rocker. I think it was in German.
Vladdy was heavy metal.
Vladdy rock.
Yeah, because he was a big Scorpions fan. So, I was kind of all of a sudden I know I was like, wow.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that
one more. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right, wrap it up,
baby. Okay.
Oh, you're putting him on a spot. He's delaying.
No, I can. No, I've actually got.
I got another one. You want one?
I got one. I got one.
Let Kurt wrap it up.
I got. Okay, well, just
wrap it up.
The show. Okay.
No.
Oh,
one more. Wrap it up.
Another one that kind of.
Zono and Harpo's.
As long as it's not,
No, there was another one actually. Was Larry Carlton at Royal Oak Music Theater.
You are joking. You are joking.
Is he the guy that got shot or is that Pat?
Yeah, no, that was him that got shot.
Right.
No, actually, no. Another one that I seen was Joe Satriani at Harpo's when he had Stu Ham on bass.
He had like a 8-string bass or something. Didn't
he? Yeah.
String. He didn't.
He was but it was a really good show. This was actually who went with me that show?
Wasn't me.
No, it was
you went by yourself.
Yeah,
I've actually done a couple shows. I seen Michael Schenker by myself. I should have went and seen Stevie Ray Vaughan on the first.
Oh, here we go. Here it goes. He did it again.
No, but I seen Joe Satriani.
Can't move on. They have therapy now for that. You can actually. You hate us.
Yes.
You just look. You sons of bitches. He looks at us and he just goes, "You son of a bitch."
Get that evil eye going.
He's got terror in his eyes.
Get that evil eye looking.
Eyes. He wants to. Anyway, go ahead.
No, it was probably Joe Satriani. That would have been the It was a Surfer and the Alien tour.
Really? He played at Harpo's?
Yeah, he played Harpo's.
Well,
he's still on the way up.
Yeah,
that was the
big
way
album
up.
for
Yeah,
him.
it was a big album. I would have thought he'd do like a state theater or something.
No, well, that was probably, this was early in the tour.
Oh,
okay.
before
One of the ones
album-
where,
before the album
probably.
hit. I got you.
He did that. He had Stu Hamm on bass, and I forgot who the drummer was, but he just came out and just played it, smoked it. Just, and it was kind of like one of those things where you just stand there going, wow, this guy is really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that should do it.
Okay.
I mean, I still got more, but we can make that a part 2.
Yeah, we could probably
Obviously,
do that
you
again.
didn't write anything down because it's all in your head.
Yes.
Which scares the shit out of me. Me and Mike at least came prepared.
No, I've been
All
prepared.
right, now you just assume take the 0 for for the assignment.
Yeah, we'll have to do a part 2 because maybe Kurt will bring his notes that time.
Yeah.
Maybe just do a show by yourself.
All right, I could do that.
Okay.
Makeup show.
All right,
you.
I'll do that.
All
You just go on and do a solo
All right.
tour. All right.
We didn't mention the unplugged stuff, did we?
No, we didn't. No,
Right, good.
we could do that another. We
All
can
right,
do,
okay.
We'll do that.
Well,
That'll
people
be,
started going, wait, what about the unplugged?
no, well, actually, I didn't mention any of the topics.
good.
I just,
All right.
We should
so
probably
then I
do the
just
next
shut up
show.
then.
We should probably, if we're going to do unplug next, we should unplug.
Okay.
We'll do an unplug show.
All right. That sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Let's unplug our
finish
minds.
this.
Yeah,
Let's
unplug our
end
minds.
this.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. And if you have any comments, if you'd like to make any comments or anything, you can email us at themusicexamination@gmail.com or leave a comment on our page. So this show was recorded and engineered at Fredison Studio, produced for Zonal Productions. And I guess we'll have to say we're done for the night.
Yes, we are.
Bye-bye.
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 Yes. Okay. Yes.
Bang your head.
Yes.
You can't leave now. Who's gonna water the plants?